Poland and the Czech Republic, of which I am proud as President of Poland, are a leader in the European Union in terms of independence from Russian gas, and therefore building also our sovereignty and independence in energy, which is very important, mentioned by the President. I, too, am pleased with the successful cooperation with the Polish company Orlen Unipetrol around alternative oil sources. And similarly, dear friends, as during the Bratislava talks, I also proposed to President Pavel this solution, in which Poland can become an energy hub for LNG in the coming years, or perhaps a decade. As we know, dear all, Poland has a gas terminal in Świnoujście. Poland is in the process of building a floating terminal, and talks with our partners in the United States and talks with partners within Central Europe prove that this process of making our economies independent of Russian gas, which we in Poland and the Czech Republic have behind us, is most likely also awaiting other European countries with the support of Poland and the United States. And for this, both Poland and the Czech Republic want to be ready.
How do you assess the current efforts to make peace? And wouldn't President Nawrocki like to take advantage of the close relationship with the United States? Talk directly, perhaps, with President Trump? Or did you both not talk? Haven't you considered traveling to Ukraine together? Thank you.
I may start, if you will allow me. After those initial evaluations of the U.S. plan, which were not entirely positive, now I look more positively at the fact that the talks with the delegations of the United States, Ukraine with the participation of Europe and Switzerland, there I already allow myself to say that there is more positive atmosphere, there is a unification of views, how this plan ultimately could look like. I am very happy that Europe is taking part in this. It would be very complicated to consider achieving peace in Ukraine, ending a war that existentially concerns pan-European security without Europe, or at least its major states, to participate, which will represent Europe's interests. In what direction will these talks develop? What will this plan ultimately look like at the end? No one seems to be able to say as of today. It is necessary that there is an important principle that the victim of this aggression will not be punished more than the culprit at the end. And this is the basic principle, in my opinion, of Europe's future security. Because any victory for Russia in this war will mean a security problem for all of us, for Europe, because it is not only an aggressive state, not only Russia, but all other aggressive states could be convinced that aggression could pay off. As for a joint trip to Ukraine, we haven't talked about that at all. But if something like that were in the future plans, I certainly won't be against it. There is no doubt that it is in the interest of European countries, including Poland, to seek a permanent peace, not a peace that will provide an opportunity for the Russian Federation to mobilize its assets and bring about another war in the following years or decades. I look at the Russian Federation as a state that does not keep its agreements, so this is a threat to any potential peace that would be signed. I also have no doubt, dear friends, that the only person in the world who is ready to force the Russian Federation to make peace is the President of the United States, Donald Trump. I look forward to seeing President Zelensky in Warsaw and hope that President Zelensky will accept my invitation in Warsaw. Of course, I also invite President Petr Pavel to Warsaw to meet with President Zelensky.
How do you envision the implementation of this plan, if we have any influence on it?
I am also aware, from my modesty, I will say this. I am aware that I would not be the best negotiator with the Russian Federation because, as you know, I am on Vladimir Putin's list of pursuers. On the other hand, I highly respect the efforts of President Donald Trump, and I also hand over to Prime Minister Donald Tusk the issues of cooperation within the coalition of the willing.